Intro complete. In this video, mark my words, go ahead and write that down. Cursive, no, bold, italicized, underline it, I don't care. We're gonna get this thing fired up. I'm not even sure what day it is, and I definitely don't know where we left off, but a lot it's occurred over here. Things have changed. So I'm gonna bring you in, just give you the usual, here is an update of the status. And then I got a whole list of things that we got to go through written on the windshield over there before we can get this thing fired up. But we're gonna, it's gonna have to happen. We're gonna do it. Keeping this rig cool is one of, if not the most important things of this entire build. And I didn't want to take a gamble just buying some no-name Radiator off a Jungle website or something like that. So had to go with cold case. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys because I'll never mislead you. They're a little on the expensive side, but you honestly get what you pay for when you go with cold case. So that's what I went with. A couple different ways to attach the shroud to the Radiator here. They provide some self-tapping screws. That's easy. Boop, boop. Or you can drill them and also rivet them. And there's a hollow chamber on the top and bottom here. I'm gonna go ahead and rivet them on since this is a semi build and everything, you know. We want her nice and clean. Sure. Yep. Broken bit? Oh, she's bent. Mm-hmm. Okay. Them geese are just coming in hotter than Selena Gomez. Huh, 4 of them. Okay, drop this in real quick. I'm gonna leave the fans off for now. Those are a nice easy bolt in, so we can always come back and do that. Just wanna make sure this sits in here. And it is right on the money into the rubber grommets, so we're good to go. There wasn't a front end on this last time, and that has happened. By the by, when you put new body mount bushings on only the front of the car, getting your gaps right is just, you want to talk about a fight. We had it. But look at this. Remember how we just guessed on this patch panel? Sometimes you got to go with your gut and just let her happen. Oh yeah, the Procharger's in. That's completely done. Everything bolted up nice. You want to talk about clearance. It's happened. Valve covers are in. This is the notch that we had to make. So once this got bolted in here, I was able to clock the back part here up slightly. So we've got some room here. We've got the bypass valve on. This is manifold vacuum line here to the bypass valve. This here is a boost reference line that goes over the boost sensing fuel pressure regulator. All the fuel lines are in. So we have fuel in to the Sniper, fuel back out, which comes back around to the end of the regulator, and then the return is out back to the fuel tank. And I put a fuel pressure sensor on here as well. The Holley EFI screen will actually tell us what the pressure is, but just in case we're under the hood and we want to see what that's saying, we've got that. Got temp sensor in, bypass hose, sparkulators are in, gap them to 50, and that's per the MSD because we've got a bigger lightning storm going on now. Got the cold case rad in. These guys came through big time. I called them 2 days ago and said, hey, I forgot, by the way, need a rad. And they basically overnight aired this to me, which is really awesome. So this is an HD rad. It's wider. The Chevelles have either 4 bolt holes up here or 3. So standard cooling would have 3, which is a lot narrower. And then this is the HD cooling. And that's the one I got here. You can see how wide it is. And then it's obviously a lot longer. And then we've got two 14-inch electric fans that we're going to be wiring in here. And that's going to tie into our harness here. And then we'll also have a transmission cooler over on this side. My plan is to have this fan kicking on a 160, which will be pulling air through that transmission cooler as well. And we'll run those lines down here along the block and then into the transmission. That's on the list up there on the windshield. Like I said, this is all bolted in. Another look at the Procharger here. They sent this piece over, which worked really well, and the bypass just bolted right up to it, so I didn't have to make anything here. The other piece that I got in the kit was kind of a make your own kind of scenario, but they do have these as well, so that worked really good. Still fighting some power steering pump clearance issues down there, so I haven't put the belt on this yet, but we can always just put the belt on here and not run the power steering just to get her fired up. Brake lines, this is from Classic Tube. They absolutely nailed the fitment on this kit. So the front brake lines are in, which is the one across the cross member over to the drinker side, and then obviously the captain side. What's nice about that is this is all lead brakes, the booster, master, and the actual disc brakes front and rear. Classic Tube and lead work hand in hand. So if you call them and just say whatever kit you have, they can bend these up for you, ship them right to you, and they just bolt in. I didn't have to do anything. So that was really slick. And these guys also make transmission lines, vacuum lines, fuel lines, hydraulic lines, you name it. So it's kind of a one-stop shop for that. There's a dozen other things that I've gotten done too, like the windshield wiper motor and a bunch of other small things, but we've definitely got some progress. I got this list over here for your cornea satisfaction. I put a yellow dot next to the ones we need, which is basically trans line and trans cooler. So we got to get the transmission full before we fire it up, obviously. We don't want to burn out the front pump or run it empty. Lightning hoses. We need to check all the fluids. We need to add fuel. Radiator and hoses, which also includes the 14-inch fans. We'll have a relay. And then I think I got to do some programming as well in the Holley, so those outputs know what to do there. And then we've got some vacuum lines to tie up. This one is done to the fuel pump, but I've got to figure out, we'll just have to go from this hard line. If you've never seen this, it's almost like refrigerator water line. And it's the same connections. You just push them in and they hold in. They're really nice. But I got to get to this fitting down here on the EFI, so we'll probably just run a piece of rubber and clamp it in. But I mean, that's pretty much all we need to run. The rest of this doesn't really matter. I just want to be able to turn the key, fire it up, have it idle for a couple minutes. That's the goal right now. So let's start by getting the cooling system done first. I got to have this in before we can bring the trans cooler around and tie that in. So I'm going to pull this back out. Let's get the shroud, the fans installed, get this drop back in. And then I've got a radiator cover-upper topper thing, the tool holder. It's the thing that you lean on it over the topper thing. That fit in there really nice. I've got a cover up here that I'm waiting for that should hide this. It's basically a smooth panel here. So once all this is done, I can always just lift this up. I think it just slides in underneath, and then this kind of all holds it down. Time to put some rad hoses on. This is always kind of a gamble. I got the OEM ones, but I can already tell the lower rad hose isn't going to work. This is a swivel, and one of the reasons I bought it. If I loosen this, I can maneuver this around, so hopefully the top one fits decent. But I'm guessing on the bottom one here, let's go this way. We're going to have to do some cutting, but this is larger than the rad because I think it's supposed to go this way, but that's not going to work. Might have to get a little creative on the lower rad hose, but if we need to, we'll get one of the springy coil arounder bended inner universal jobbers, see what happens. But for now, I'm going to try to get this guy put in. Moving on to the musical system, the exhaust, you know. Doesn't really need it to fire up, but it's going to have to get done at some point anyway, so might as well just go ahead and get it done now. It's not going to take that long. I want to keep it really simple, but I want to make sure that, you know, it's loud. But let's get some good quality out of it. So I'm just going to do a short 3-inch piece of pipe. Gonna do some chambered mufflers and then just some old turn downs, get that dirt blowing. And in this case, hopefully that smoke is just shooting out, you know. I'm not really gonna plan anything. I'm just gonna start welding pieces together and see if some sort of stick fits in there. Sounds good. Well, overview of the viewage. Got a pipe later, one chambered muffler, and where did I get this? O'Reilly's, I think. Stick weld this on, something like that. Just get them shooting out the side, then I'll bzzzt a hanger, and we'll get her into the floor here somewhere, and that'll help support it so it's not hanging off of the header. And based on my seat bolts here, this is the back of the seat. That's the old seat belt bolt. We're going to be right behind the driver's seat, which is just questionably safe enough for carbon monoxide poisoning. Perfect. Got these all zip together. I mean, it's, you know, close enough. Gonna get them put up there. Got some collector gaskets, and then like I say, I got some generic hangers. It's a lot closer on this side than I thought because this header comes up and then this header comes down at a sharp angle, so it might be easier. I was thinking of welding it on and then bending the tab and just putting a nut on these bolts here. That might work. I don't know. Otherwise, maybe just self-tap it or something. I just don't want all that weight hanging off the headers because they're actually, it's pretty hefty. I mean, yeah. Mufflage. Well, like most of you fellers at home, I don't have a pipe bender to do 3-inch stuff. One of the problems I'm having is the drinker side header comes down at an angle. So no matter how hard I try, they're gonna be all sorts of kitty cat wampus, but that's okay. This is just something temporary. If we can get through Florida and Indianapolis, the shows in April and May, with just this, you know, cobbled together system here, that's fine. We can always circle back around and do something fancy in the future. I just don't want to blow my eardrums out quite yet. Wow, what in the... I can't do anything without some. This will bring them around to the same flavor and then maybe keep them from rusting for a couple days. Oh yeah, this will match nothing. This paint's supposed to withstand 1199 or 1000 heat, so I don't know. That might be enough. While the mufflators are drying, Moz will dig in on the transcooler and lines. So I've already popped out these OEM fittings and the brass crush washer, and got these in up here, and that's going to allow us to go to AN. And I've got some braided line, and I think what we're going to do, spin around this way, is probably, I think the original ones came through here. I'd kind of like to go there, but we're getting pretty close to the flywheel. I should try to find the inspection cover, because it'd be nice to shoot through here that just come under here nice and easy through this gap and then up here to the front, and try to avoid going over the header to the top side of the frame, because then we'd be going over the upper A-arm up there. So I'm going to try to find this cover first, and I guess that's going to kind of tell me where it's going. I don't know. It's got to go forward. All right, the exhaust is in here, and it's not, you know, it doesn't look good, but it's going to be functional. I needed something in here for that O2, and I promise you guys this is going to sound really, really good. The other one over there, I need to take it back off, run it over to Andy's, and try to hit it with the old lava wand and bend it up, but it's too much pipe. But he could bend that up for me a little bit. And then remember that oil fitting up in here a couple episodes ago? I said it'd be really easy to do it now, and I didn't. So I fought on that for pretty much ever. And then I got the transmission cooling lines in, and those run up here to the cooler, and that's these tabs here that's on the other side. So pretty well done under here for at least what I need to do to get this thing just fired up for now. So I'm going to bring it back down to the ground and do a couple things up top, and then I think we're ready to turn the key on this thing. Up top here, this is a real cobbled together set of lightning hoses. I think there's 3 or 4 different flavors, and then that's off of just a miscellaneous points kit. But this should be enough to at least get 5 or 6 of these firing. I do need to put the belt on really quick for the Procharger. It would probably run without it just fine, but why not just throw it on? Only takes a minute. I'm gonna check the timing one last time, just so we're pretty close to initial, and then we should be able to just turn the key as long as we get fuel pressure, twist on it, and theoretically it should start and idle. Well, I think everything's in there, you know, and I dumped a couple gallons of that gas, which I think came out of the 68 Buick LeSabre and is in really bad shape, but that's what I got. All right, here we go. Trying. Let's go like that. Try it again. That's something. No idea why it quit, but it's alive. It's definitely a battery issue, because I could see that right here, but it's in, it's alive, it's running. That's great news, guys. It sounds great. I wish I could let it run a little bit longer. You guys can hear this better, but I got the door open. It's smoky in here. Goodness. alive again, sounds angry as ever. I need to adjust the idle and the IAC position. There's a process in there that I need to do, but before I run it anymore, I need to finish up the cooling system and get some coolant in this so I can run it a little bit longer. But I'm really excited, sounds great. Whole process on the Holley really wasn't that bad. New friend Mark is here. He's also doing some stuff that you're gonna see coming up very soon. Here's a little hint as to what we may be doing, and to give you a sneak peek what's coming back to the channel very soon, crew cab. So I'm not sure what day, I think it's Sunday, probably. Day before, it wasn't yesterday, the day before that, but it wasn't yesterday, but anyway, I sent up some smoke signals for some help, and the one and only Luke from Tin Man 2 Customs is here. He's climbing out right now, actually.
Hey, what's up, guys?
So he's coming over to help. Thankfully, we got a bunch of stuff to do. If you haven't heard of this guy, you got to go check him out. He actually lives just up the road from me. Yeah, he built some crazy stuff. What's that Wild Turkey? What was the body?
So that was a 31 Chevy. Started out as a 4-door, made it a 2-door.
2-door. Diesel Cummins or something?
Oh yeah, Cummins 12 valve, yeah, 750 horse.
Yep.
And compound turbos, nitrous, methanol injection. And it hauls a gooseneck, so.
All of it.
Just
basically.
all of it, man.
And then he's got a gooseneck through the roof, which pulls a trailer, obviously, with another bagged rat rod
Yep.
on that. And if you like shiny stuff, he built a beautiful 40 Chevy.
Yep.
Widened it by hand. The actual SEMA car.
Yep.
And now you're traveling the Midwest and he's winning shows. I mean, it's crazy. So
Frick yeah.
go check out his channel because it's awesome stuff. Tin Man 2 Customs, and he's gonna help me knock this out. So he's gonna work on the rear brake lines for me. I'm still trying to figure out TPS and idle, and apparently my starter just bound up.
I think I'm bad luck, man.
Look at the flake on the ground. We had no issues with that yesterday, and then
I showed up.
first key was like sounded like crunching rocks. So we'll do that, and then we're also gonna cut a hole in the hood while he's here, because that's nice having him help. But he's kind of coming up with the plan back here. I think he's gonna just weld these tabs in wherever is goodish, pop a line through over there, and hook them up. I think he's got the lines whipped out back here.
They're pretty much done.
Look at this.
Just a quickie.
That'll work. Put a
Yeah.
bolt upside down over there.
Right
while
there.
they're right up. It's a smart idea. Instead of going to the top of the pumpkin up there or trying to use that factory bracket, and just boop.
Yeah.
They were just shooting her through a rust hole in the floor and bring her up to the handle, but that'll work, man. Looks
Yeah.
good. Well, since she's Sunday, we couldn't find any fittings that we needed to finish up the rear, but he got all the hard work done back here, so all I got to do is just pop a fitting up here on the handle. And now we moved into the electro-digital fans. I got these mounted up here and the relays up here, and then he ran all the, I don't know what this stuff is called, looming, tech flex.
Yeah, it's a pain.
Did all the hard work basically. Stuff up here, popped her through. Now he's running this, and I'm gonna jump in and just basically, I found a 12-volt switched power source in here, which is really easy with GM because they all literally say ignition. And if you just put a test light on that, and it'll be off, roll the key forward, it lights up. So that's a really good source, as long as you're not pulling a ton of amps. But in this case, all we're doing is just triggering that relay that we've got up here. So we just need a signal basically, and that's gonna run our fans. So we're getting really, really close. Hopefully yet today we can fit this hood on. So that's pretty hefty. It's kind of a two-man deal. We got to figure out where to cut. Unfortunately, no matter how we do it, it's not going to look very good because it's going to be like an angled, I don't know, banana, watermelon, some sort of shape in here. And it's going to help do the thing for clearance because we got to have this buckled down with the pins. I'm working on the steering wheel in here. Got the OEM one off, and look at this one. Big Ron's sent this over. He let me choose my style. And I think this fits it absolutely perfectly. I gotta find the install kit for this. I've been walking around for like 10 minutes now, but that'll give you kind of an idea. Luke's back here working on, what are we doing? Fan wiring?
Yeah, man.
So he's bringing her up through here, over there.
I had to pull her back down.
Oh, did you?
To reroute her a little bit gooder.
Well, that's right, we did a second rerunnage for more goodage. We originally went with the rust hole, and then we decided let's kick it up a notch. And oh, you routed it again? Where'd
Yeah,
you
I'm
come this
rerouting
time?
it again, man. It has to be perfect. I'm like very particular.
Where are you going this time? I can't even see
It's
it.
gonna come through that hole, but I was rerouting it underneath because
Up underneath,
it didn't
yeah.
quite look SEMA approved, so
Gotcha. So he's classing it up around here.
just a little
which is,
bit, not too much though. You can't do it too much.
he's got the lift at perfect sitting height
Dude,
under
look at
here.
this thing. It's perfect, man.
Look at that.
I love it. So spoiled with the lift.
Do you want a light under there? You're like
I got-
sitting
I
in
got-
it. Oh, you got one? Oh yeah. Old hobo freight light. So he's doing that, and I've just been walking around looking for this install kit. I got the steering wheel in, fans are wired, have moved on to transmission linkage.
Oh, heck yeah.
I just crudely slammed a hole in the floor up here and fed her through, and he's been dealing with the underside. But look at this fittage we got going on.
Oh, we need some light for that one. You gotta show
Yeah,
that. Look
that's-
at that. That is just OEM.
Yeah, I mean, you can't get better than
Oh,
that.
you really can't, man.
A little bit of left edge, right edge, jammed her in. Well, how did you, oh, you went forward and around.
Yeah, man.
That's nice. So now we just got to get the slack figured out to where it's taut on the handle. Of course, this has got to be in park as long as your shifter's in park. And then we got to figure out how to dial that in, but that should be done here pretty quick. And then up top, I just got to figure out there's a little handle, fancy little handle that goes on it or something, and a cover, which I'm not really worried about, as long as it shifts. That's all a guy needs. Can you get first, second, third as fast as possible? Oh, I got to take that shifter off. And the wheel's on, and my steering wheel adapter kit and the steering wheel, neither one came with the horn button, so we're going with the horn delete option. Saves on weight, you know, pick up a little speed in the quarter. But it's coming along. I think we're gonna probably move to the hood, and then that's gonna be a night because I'm getting hungry again, I think. Are you getting hungry yet?
Oh, I can always eat, man.
Yeah, you know, Minnesotans, we like our tater tots. What can I say? So we're moving on to the hood here, and we're not quite sure. We're hoping that maybe we have to slice out the webbing or something, or bring the hinges up, but I would really not like to cut the hood. So if we can figure out how to make, even if it just slightly rubs, I'm okay with that. But cutting in a weird shape, I don't know. I just don't know if that would work for me. So we're gonna put the hinges on, right them up a little bit higher, and then I'm gonna let him do all the cutting.
Oh,
so
man.
that
She's
way,
close. I'm hoping we don't have to cut. Maybe just hit her with the BFH.
yeah, we could just.
Yeah.
I liked, he had an idea, maybe put a block of wood on here and just slam it like 10 times, and you know, she'll come around by itself. But we'll slide it on here and see what happens.
Hey, you like response himself?
Well, we're gonna
Do something. We'll
Something.
figure it out.
maybe just like a beer case. Let's go. Yeah, I guess I'm supposed to follow the circle. Freehand, upside down. Okay. Ouch, the leather, man, right on the hip.
Looks like fireworks. America. Yo, look at that. You're good. Like you done that a time or two, eh?
Oh yeah. It's kind of a circle, actually.
That's pretty good. All right, the moment of truth here.
Test fit number 47.
Ooh, it's hot.
Look at that.
Oh, oh my goodness. Oh yeah, baby.
I need just you know, 2 horsehairs right here.
Oh man.
They're melting that paint off. Hot. Moment of truth. Oh, the hood kinked.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Oh, she's funny clear.
Done. Pretty long day, but it was fun. It was awesome having Luke here to help. Huge thank you to him. Shifter linkage in. Cooling fans are in, programmed. Wires are ran. He got all of the rear brake lines ran. So this is pretty much buttoned up. We got the hole cut in the hood and the hood set up, which was huge. That was definitely a 2-man job. And I'll come back and clean this up a little bit tomorrow. I might even put some trim, maybe not, maybe just a rough edge so it rusts, not sure, whatever's easiest. And I'm really down to just a couple things here. Alternator pulley, might still clear coat it before the event, not sure. We got trunk pins, hood pins, drive shaft, which I'm picking up very soon. And I got to figure out brackets for the charging whirler, but that's really it. I got a grill on order, but you don't need them for burnouts. So I think we're pretty much there. Again, big thank you to Luke. Go check out his channel, Tin Man 2 Customs. But that's pretty much it. Next time you see this car, it's going to be complete and probably in Florida. So thanks guys for watching. Appreciate it very much, and we'll see you next time.